we've got the one and only Jared Sandler. Jared, how you doing?
Hello, Bobby. Hello, RJ. Hello, Peyton.
Hello,
and
Jared.
Ryan. I can't forget Ryan.
You almost did. So way to go. Way to be a jerk.
Yeah,
Jeez.
my bad.
Hey,
Ryan.
so before we get into Ranger stuff, which there's a lot of stuff we want to touch on with you, especially with the the pitch, the rotation, left field, all that stuff. Jack Leiter. We did this earlier during the Expressway. We got 1,000 replies on the fan text about this. Literally 1,000.
Holy smokes.
Who is on the Mount Rushmore of sex symbols?
Well, RJ.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. RJ Hagee, for sure.
All right, Blake
Chris
Lively.
Arnold,
Blake Lively's 1. Who's 2, 3, 4?
Well, no, but Chris Arnold, have you ever seen him take one of those pictures with his shirt off in a mirror?
Bro.
He was big on that during the pandemic. So
Bro,
definitely CA.
I love everything about CA, including his body. CA,
Yeah.
and he'll
then-
that the eggs in the morning, and then he basically gets to eat whatever he wants the rest of the day. Those are just
There
good
you go.
genes right there, baby.
Got you down. And then I think Tim Collins. I think those are your 4.
Dang, those are good. Now give me your real ansor, or
Yeah,
is Emily listening
hold on,
and you don't want to get in trouble?
No, I don't care. I don't care if she's next to me.
Whoa!
She knows how I feel about this. But hold on. Sex symbols, or are you talking like my biggest crushes?
No,
See,
sex
now
symbols.
that's
So
different, right?
mine was Pamela Anderson, Raquel Welch, Marilyn Monroe, and Madonna. Choppy went Cindy
Oh, yeah,
Crawford, Pamela Anderson, Kathy Ireland, Liz Hurley. And Peyton went Farrah Fawcett, Megan Fox, Pamela Anderson, Jessica Alba.
Interesting. Okay, so Blake Lively has a special place in my heart, but I don't know if other people would consider her to be a sex symbol. I think you
Cultural
gotta give
significance.
Tyra Banks needs some love. I feel like Tyra Banks
Yeah.
is big. I'm thinking of names that you guys didn't bring up, not necessarily to disagree, but just some other names.
Sure.
Does Kate Upton get some love?
She does. She's the modern era at ballot.
Yeah, I think Kate Upton. I think, there's an actress who just my mind is going blank on.
Margot Robbie.
Oh yeah, Margot Robbie, and then you know what? Just another actress who I think in a weird way, for our generation, Shannon Elizabeth, just because of her role in American Pie.
Yeah.
And how, I don't know that I'd put her on the Mount Rushmore, but again, I'm just trying to think.
Yeah,
of
we
names
threw out.
that
Yeah,
maybe
we
you
threw out
guys didn't bring up.
we had some others. Britney Spears.
Oh yeah, Britney for sure.
Yeah, we have Britney Spears. Somebody threw out Anna Nicole Smith. Those were some
Yeah,
big
I thought about
ones.
her.
So yeah, just a lot of names to kick around. Just something to consider. Maybe something
Yeah.
you can ask all the Rangers players at spring training.
Yeah.
Jared.
And then what about someone like, I don't know, Brandy Love or
Wow. You go down that road, huh?
RJ, I appreciate you
I don't
recognize
know-
because
I
I
don't know
know
who
that
that is.
Bobby. I know Bobby and Peyton and probably Ryan know who she is, but they're too
Yeah.
scared to admit it.
She's a great stepmom.
Yeah, very good.
I don't know, stepmom. What are you
She
doing,
lays down the law.
Jared?
Yeah, she
Let's move on to baseball, Jared. How concerned or like there's nothing to be worried about with Jacob deGrom, right? And whatever his left side means.
Yeah, I don't think that there should be any additional concern. If you are on eggshells just every time he takes the mound, hoping he comes out healthy, I think I get that they made a huge investment, and it's not like he's without a medical history the last few years. I don't know. I try to not just worry about things out of my control, and a part of me feels like because Keith Meister, the Rangers team orthopedic, was the one who was monitoring Jacob deGrom's progress while he was with the Mets, that they wouldn't have made that investment if he didn't sign off on it. And he has had as good a look as anyone. But based on the last 48 hours, that should not add any more concern, whatever your level of concern was before. This goes on around Major League Baseball, all 30 teams in mid-February, late February. If there is even the slightest degree, like if I wake up and I'm farting too many times, they might hold me out because it's mid-February. So I don't think there's any concern. I think you guys played some of deGrom's comments yesterday, and obviously he didn't seem concerned either. And then talking about where he is and his preparation compared to past years, it seems like he's in good shape.
So if he had been making 35 starts a year for the last 5 years, nobody bats an eye at this. It's because there's a little bit of an injury history.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the combination of the investment, right? There's a lot of excitement. There's going to be an absolute microscope on this guy because of that. I mean, he's the best pitcher that the Rangers have ever signed in free agency. He's maybe the most talented pitcher they've ever had wear a Rangers uniform, and a lot of money. But yeah, it obviously is building on the fact that one of the big storylines was the concern about his health. So there's no doubt those things compound on top of one another, and that's what creates the headline. Because you're right. I mean, this happens. This will happen to 100 different players across 30 different camps this year, where guys get held out for precautionary reasons. Because what the heck does February 16th, 17th, 18th really matter?
Talking with Jared Sandler here on Shan and RJ. Jared, we were talking about Nathan Eovaldi a little bit earlier, and I mean he's a guy who, like, when he's on, he's very exciting. I know we talked about this a couple months ago a little bit, and then in the last couple days I've been doing more research on it, and I'm a little interested in it. The idea of Nathan Eovaldi's velocity being down like 2.5 miles per hour on his fastball the last couple years, and then it seems like with that came some ineffectiveness with the slider, which had been a really good pitch for him in, the years leading up to 2022 before last year when it kind of went sideways. I think his barrel percentage went from like 6 to 10 in 2022. And so it was by far the worst number of his career. Is all this, do you think, can be boiled down to, as long as he gets the fastball right, the velocity fall, everything else is going to fall in behind it?
I don't. So first of all, just generally speaking, there's not like a lot of corroboration behind just across the board. You drop your fastball velocity, or the margin between your fastball velocity and your slider velocity dropping decreases the effectiveness of your slider. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of pitchers who, as they have lost velocity, their slider has become a more important pitch for them. Mm-hmm. That's not to say that it doesn't work the other way. It certainly could. I think a few things stand out to me with Nathan Eovaldi. One, the slider has become his fourth most used pitch. He really, the split finger is his bread and butter now. And It used to be, the curveball was a big pitch, and that still is. Those are his three pitches. Those are the three pitches he'll throw to righties and lefties more than any other pitch. The slider is really just a right-on-right pitch. But I think what happened, talking to people that watched him last year, talking to some of the Rangers folks, I have not had the chance to talk to Nathan about this personally, but they just said they feel like he lost his feel of that pitch, which is not uncommon when you're throwing that pitch now, the fourth most of your repertoire. You're going to give that not as much attention as the splitter and the curveball. And, you throw those pitches differently. And because you throw those pitches differently, maybe it makes you lose a little bit of feel, lose a little bit of consistency with the slider. And so I think those things play a role. Now, the velocity thing, Bobby, is, I think, a really interesting conversation piece for all pitchers, because with the pitch clock, guys aren't going to have as much time to catch their breath. And I know it might seem minimal to people, but I'm curious to see guys who had average velocities, in the mid to high 90s last year in the starter's role, what that looks like this year. Because, I don't think baseball is ever going to subscribe to the whole theory or the philosophy that we grew up with, where, hey, as a starter, you don't want to really put your foot fully on the gas and you want to conserve energy, and you're maybe going to be 85% in the first couple innings. I think, people have done away with that because they just want guys to be at their best always. But when you can wait 25 seconds in between pitches, that 10-second difference, that 5-second difference really is significant in terms of being able to catch your breath and go 110% on your next pitch. So I think there are going to be guys across the league, Nathan Eovaldi may be one of them, maybe most guys, who are going to have to adjust to maybe not throwing their fastball at 97 but doing it at 95, or not 95 but doing it at 93. I don't know. I can't say for sure that's how it's going to be, but it would stand to reason that if you got less time in between pitches, it could have a little bit of an impact on your velocity.
Yeah, and I wonder how the guys have to change their motion because of the new rules are going to be impacted
Sure.
by all that.
Yeah, is Marcus Stroman still allowed to wind up for 40 seconds?
Luis Garcia with the Astros rocks the baby 17 times before he gets into his motion. So I don't think he's going to have to. I don't think he's going to be able to do that.
No, yeah, he's not. Clevenger, if he even plays, but yeah, they'll rock the baby. I love that though. Any rotation battle that you're looking most forward to, like in terms of the back end?
No, I mean, I think if the five guys who we project to be in the rotation are healthy, they'll be in the rotation. And that's in whatever order: deGrom, Perez, Gray, Heaney, and Eovaldi. I don't think Jake Odorizzi is really competing for a rotation spot, but he could get consideration, as could Glenn Otto, maybe even Cole Reagans, if one of those guys gets hurt. And here's the reality. I mean, I don't know what the percentage is, but I'd say 25% of teams that come into spring training with all five of their projected starters healthy will have one guy who maybe isn't ready first time through for whatever reason. And maybe it's a minor injury in early March that, again, they don't want to push, but that sets his preparation back. So, I think it'd be great to have all five of those guys for 30 starts. The reality is that's not going to be the case. So for camp, the battle to me, RJ, is less about competing for a rotation spot, but competing for the next man up. When someone goes down, is Glenn Otto going to be the guy they turn to? Is it going to be Cole Reagans? Is it going to be Jake Odorizzi? Eventually, that could be Cole Winn or Jack Leiter in the discussion. Maybe I don't know, Zach Kent, but not right away, certainly. And then the other question is with Dane Dunning. He had hip surgery in the offseason. Where's he health-wise? Is he going to be ready on opening day? I don't know if that's the case. I think we'll learn more here in the coming days. But where does he factor into the conversation as well? So I think that the competition is going to be more for next man up than it is, who's going to be in the rotation.
All right, we got just about a minute left here, Jared. I know you heard us talking about it yesterday. Am I wrong to have the slight level of panic I do that Jack Leiter is plummeting on almost every evaluator top 100 list?
I mean, I don't think you're wrong to be nervous because, I mean, the other direction is to be super confident. It's tough to be super confident after what he went through last year. I would say, they gave him a really tough test. And I think if we see Kumar Rocker start in high A, that might be recognition that, hey, wish we would have done that with Jack. Let him have success and then move him up to Double A. But this is a big year for Jack. He's going to start in Double A, I'd imagine, and you'd like to see him have success second time through. But he's still young. He's still got room to grow. So I don't think that anyone should be super concerned. I mean, it's tough to keep him up where he was ranking-wise after the year he had. So I think that was to be expected. But we had Jim Callis on Hot Stove a couple weeks ago, and he said, yeah, I mean, the numbers weren't great, but I have zero reason to think that, my projection for Jack Leiter is any different today than it was last year. It's just a matter of seeing it because they're guys who did it last year. Now Jack Leiter's got to do it. And again, getting to repeat Double A to start the year will be a really good test for him.
Love you, Jared. Have fun in Arizona.
Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you later.